The Multimedia Teaching Area proudly presents the Open Flash project, where students learn Flash without the hefty price tag. In this video tutorial, we're going to cover the basics of ActionScript. More specifically, we're going to cover how to stop the timeline, how to comment code, and how buttons interact with the timeline. Okay. In this video tutorial, the first thing I'd like you to do is open an ActionScript 2.0 file. Then, what I'd like you to do is rename the first layer to buttons. Then, let's create another layer, and let's call this, I don't know, actions. So we're going to put our ActionScript on that layer, and then the next layer is going to be animation. Okay, so we're on the animation layer, so we're just going to draw a box. We're going to control click on the first keyframe, and then we're going to make this into a symbol and has a motion tween already there. Let's clean this up, change the library name from symbol1 to box moving MC. And then what I'm going to do is on the 25th frame, I'm just going to drag it over to the other side of the screen, so I've got my motion tweening happening automatically. So let's just open up the actions window and let's stop the timeline. So this is the most basic and the very first bit of code that you'll learn. And we just put the stop, open bracket, close bracket, and I've commented the code using backspace, and then just having a real-world description of what's actually happening. I've clicked the tick just to make sure everything was cool, and let's test that movie clip and see the animation isn't playing automatically. If I hold Control and then click and press play, it forces that to go through. Okay, now having done that, let's draw a button. And I'm going to change that to green and highlight everything, and let's convert to symbol. Now I'm going to just make sure that's the type's the button. I'm going to name this green button. Make sure that I've got it as button again, and there I go. Now let's double click inside of this and rename and modify this this button a little bit. So putting keyframes on up, over, and hit. And I'm just changing the inside color for the over and the down. Okay, double clicking to go back to the main menu, and let's save this project. I haven't saved it as yet, and that's a pretty bad thing to do. Okay, great. Now you'll notice that I've actually made a mistake. If you look at the timeline, you can see that the button is actually in the actions window. So I've just cut that out there and I've pasted it into the buttons layer. Now there's nothing on the actions window except for the actions and the buttons on the button layer. Now I'm just clicking down and the button's cycling through. Now let's give this button an instance name. The instance name allows our ActionScript to reference it. So I've called this green play button. Now let's just reopen up our actions window. And let's type some code in so that the button can interact with the timeline. Now, you might not be able to see the code correctly through YouTube or the video hosting site. So what I'll do is I'll actually put this in the comments. But it's _root, whatever the instance name is, dot on press equals function open bracket close bracket parentheses or squiggly bracket play open bracket close bracket and then close parentheses. Okay, now if we can see that all the code is on the timeline, not on the button. And let's put some comments in here. So when the button is pressed, the command that we want it to be executed is the play button. And play will play the timeline. So let's test this out. Okay, great. So stops by default, and by clicking on the green button, it plays the code. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or corrections, please send us an email at vuacm2003@gmail.com. Otherwise, ask your tutor or post it up on the bulletin board. Again, thank you very much and have a great day.